Okej. Alright, bra. Då kör vi. Hello, and welcome back to Madness in the Method, the greatest Nicolas Cage podcast. Not just on the internet, in the world. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my friend and trusted co-host, Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And today we have a returning guest, special guest, Josephine.
Woo!
Hey!
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you.
You were last with us on which movie?
It was Tokarev.
Yes.
Tokarev, right. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, I know. I will never forget that film.
And you're back again to talk about more quality Nicolas Cage films.
Yeah,
Or film, I suppose. Yeah.
I couldn't get enough. I just had to come back for more.
You really find the quality movies to rejoin us on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, really getting the best ones you have to offer, I think.
Yeah, because that was kind of the first guest we had was for the season 1 finale, Leaving Las Vegas. It was like, yeah, we want a third opinion on like one of the most like celebrated Nicolas Cage movies. But then yeah, we had you've been with us twice, right?
Yeah. Am I the only reoccurring guest?
Yes.
Yes.
So you first your first episode was Drive Angry. Oof. And then
Drive Angry
was
Camilla. Camilla. That was Camilla.
Oh right. Whoa.
Yeah. Shout out to Camsor.
Oh right, sorry. Then then we had Camille on for Drive Angry, but then you were here for Tokarev or Rage or whatever it's called. Yeah. So we only had guests for the good episodes.
And now this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today we're talking about the 2021. I don't know what genre this is, but it's called Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought I based on the premise and the poster mostly, because I didn't watch any trailers for this. I didn't want to have anything ruined. I thought it was gonna be like a fantasy action movie, and that's not what this is. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I think last week we talked about our expectations were sort of a nitty and gritty, darker, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes, exactly.
Just based on the poster and the premise.
Yeah.
And that's not what we got.
No.
So, had any of you seen this movie before?
No, not at all. And I was also pretty impressed by the trailer. I was like, oh, okay. This could be actually kind of cool. But
so so we all went into this movie with high hopes and thinking this could be pretty cool.
yes.
That correct? Yeah. Even though it has 4.2 on IMDb, we were all like, yeah, they're wrong this time. This time they're wrong.
My hopes were up, but based on like the last 10 episodes, I was like, don't get too excited, don't. And yeah, I'm happy I wasn't too excited because this movie, oof. It's not so much that it's bad. I mean, it is bad. It's pretty bad, but it's just confusing.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem.
And I think it's also at least 40%, maybe 50%, like dream sequences and flashbacks.
Yeah,
exactly. And I would just thought over and over again, like this should have just been a music video or like a conceptual something from the director. Because it didn't have a plot. It was just like, oh, that's a cool scene, I guess. Too bad it doesn't have to be here because it doesn't add anything. But
that
doesn't make sense.
Most of the movie.
If you read the official synopsis, or I guess little like one line, synopsis is a notorious criminal, which we know committed one crime, must break an evil curse, I guess, in order to rescue an abducted girl who has mysteriously disappeared. She didn't mysteriously disappear either. She just left. Now, like, that sounds like, kind of cool. So she got taken by some demons or something, and he has to go to get her. Like, that sounds kind of cool. Here's a longer one, which doesn't really make more sense, but it's more detailed. Set in the treacherous frontier city of Samurai Town, where a ruthless bank robber is sprung from jail, we don't actually see that, by wealthy warlord the Governor, whose adopted granddaughter, Bernice, has gone missing. The Governor offers the prisoner his freedom in exchange for retrieving the runaway. So was he... Alright, missing, runaway. That makes more sense. She's not really taken. Strapped into a leather suit that will self-destruct within 3 days. Very Escape from New York. The bandit sets off on a journey to find the young woman and his own path to redemption. Yeah, it makes more sense.
Did you think he got that? Or was he redeemed by the end?
Sort of,
yes.
I suppose. Technically, yes.
So while we're talking about synopsis, I read synopsis of Wikipedia.
Okay.
Because I would say that one of the biggest issues, not on a long shot the only, but one of the biggest issues in this movie is, for me at least, is that there's no world building at all. We don't know what's going on. Is this the entire world like this? Is this just a specific region? What is normal? What is not normal? Because we can't comprehend that from any reaction. That, like, when, for example, when Ratman, we'll get to that, when Ratman appears and everyone is like, yeah, that's Ratman. It's like, what do you mean that's Ratman? Who's that? Why is that? Anyway, so in Wikipedia there is a part that I suspect is either from a script or is just guesswork, but it sort of sets the scene in a way that I wanted the movie itself to do. And there's, in a region of Japan devastated and quarantined years ago following an accident in which highly volatile nuclear waste was spilled after a crash, a settlement called Samurai Town is ruled by an unscrupulous governor who has blended elements of Japanese society, both modern day and pre-modern, and the old American West together at his whim, and is keeping a harem of adopted granddaughter as his sex slave. The outside is a wasteland known as the Ghostland.
Okay.
I feel that part, I needed that in the movie, because that sort of explains a few things.
Yeah, I mean, that is technically in there, but not explained in a way that makes sense.
No, exactly.
That's the thing. Because you have the whole sequence where they just, I mean, it's literally an exposition dump. Where they just tell you what happened with the
you mean the
crash.
PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah.
The analog PowerPoint presentation in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And,
Perfect.
exactly.
But they do it in sort of a wishy-washy way. Like, you get it, but it doesn't really explain why Samurai Town is the way it is, or why the prisoners of Ghostland are stuck where they are. Like, it's just like, oh, we can't leave because the prisoners say so. What do you mean? Just go. Or why Samurai Town is the way it is, or why the governor managed to take everything over, or what the deal actually is there. Like, they don't explain this. It's like you take all the elements of a classic, adventure movie. Like, you have the evil leader who the hero has to work for to get, redemption, but you don't explain any of it, and you make it super over the top. Which in a regular movie, like if you said, "Oh, he's just a gangster," like, okay, then you can understand why he has like a posse of guys with guns and why he has, kidnapped people around. But here's just like he is this like grand leader. Everyone, oh, the governor. Like, why? What? And he's a gangster. He's a criminal. What does he actually do? They don't have nothing is explained.
Yeah, like,
which
how did
is very annoying.
Yeah, like, how did he rise to power in?
Yeah,
I mean, Japan, in this Japanese village. This cowboy guy. How did he take over the town? How did he control all the samurais? So many questions. But
Yeah, and when Hero, Nicolas Cage character Hero, and his partner Psycho, who
great
is
names.
the bad guy. Yeah, great names. Yeah, it's the Tenet form of storytelling where you just call your protagonist.
Yeah. That's simple.
Yeah, hey, he's the hero, so why not? It's like in the Dungeon Siege movie. Oh, this guy's a farmer, so he's called Farmer. Anyway, they go to rob the samurai town bank, right? Because it's the bank in the place.
No, it's actually this is on the sign. The bank is actually located in Bank City.
Oh, oh, that's true. Yeah.
Obviously,
You know, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's the other town where everyone wears kimonos and masks for some reason.
Yes, yeah,
and everything
Bank
looks
City.
super old, except for the bank, which is like super modern. Everything is white and everything clean, looks high tech. Nothing makes sense.
That's true. And it's
you know
not
what,
only a bank, it's also like a candy store. Like
Yes.
Yeah,
chewing
they have
gum,
a bubblegum machine there.
bubblegum machine dispensary / bank,
But
as
the
it were.
kid has the bucket of bubblegums before he runs into the bank.
Oh.
So,
But there is also
'cause-
a shot of like a gum dispenser thing getting blown up. So
yeah. I don't know. That's just a little detail. Yeah. You know what? This all the weird details that they don't explain, and the like dumping of exposition in the middle of the story. It actually reminds me a lot of like not a comic book, like more like a manga or an anime, like.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, they just want to get to the cool stuff, but then at some point, like, okay, I guess we have to explain something, so they just sit you down and explain for 2 chapters, like, this is what's actually going on, so now we can get to the finale of it. That's what it feels like. And not to generalize, but, like, Asian or Eastern filmmakers, I mean, obviously, anime and manga is from Asia as well, so they have the tendency to do storytelling like that. Just get into the thing, and then after a while, they kind of like, oh, this is actually what's going on. That's kind of what I feel is going on here. That is taking inspiration from that. And of course, the director is Japanese, so right, Japanese.
Yeah.
So, because I've seen this kind of this story structure in other movies, done better though than here.
I felt the feeling I got to this movie is one of those. I don't have a good example, but they exist where you make a movie based on a TV show for the people who've seen the TV show. That you're supposed to know all these things already.
Yeah,
there's a lot of we don't need. You know about this world. Like this is sort of a spin-off of a side character from an anime.
Yeah,
that's sort of the feeling.
Yeah. That's also a big thing in anime, like excessive flashbacks to explain why your character is so silent and moody all the time. But you don't mess with this guy. He lost his entire family 100 years ago, and then flashback to that thing.
yeah.
Then so that can be a little confusing. But if you're like, okay, but at least we're gonna get some like fun, exciting action at least, like because they're really selling this. The poster, he's standing on a pile of garbage and bodies, and he's holding a sword, and they're selling it as an action movie. But there is close to zero action in this movie. Nothing really happens in terms of action in this movie, except for the very end, where it just comes out of nowhere when Sofia Boutella's character, Bernice's cousin, well, they call her at least cousin or whatever it is, just mows everyone down with a machine or a minigun, and then they fight for a little bit. And it's the most awkward, like, fight scenes ever. And the movie's over.
I got some samurai action. So there were a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But, like, most of the movie is just Nicolas Cage going to Ghostland by crashing his car, which we don't see, and falling out of it, and they get carried on a some sort of carriage.
He goes between the car and Ghostland like 5 times.
yeah. Then he comes there, walks around, finds Bernice. They go back, and then they explain what happened in between Ghostland and Samurai Town, or whatever it's called. And then they go back to the town, and like they just walk around.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
It has the appearance of a cool movie because he has the leather jacket and everything, but nothing's cool about it.
But I gotta say, I think the movie looks cool.
Yeah, the movie looks cool. Yeah, sure. Yeah, like I said,
as you said, Josefin, it's like most of this. There's a lot of cool scenes.
Yeah.
That doesn't add anything, but they're pretty cool to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll give them that they really tried to put some effort in, like, the set design. And,
oh, sure.
And, like, lighting and stuff. I mean, it doesn't really add anything since there's no plot, so it's just, like, okay, it looks pretty cool, but why? But, so I'll give them that. But also, I thought it was pretty funny in the beginning when they're in this Western/Japanese town that's like clearly a set. And as the time goes by, the filmmakers just say like, fuck it, we'll just get the roofing on the set also. Like, who cares? They had all these like bars and stuff with lights on them. Yeah, I thought that was funny. I laughed.
Yeah, I mean that is the biggest issue in the beginning of the movie. Well, the first half of the movie, I guess, where it's just. I was thinking, is this supposed to be on a set in universe?
Yeah, who knows? It could be.
Is this supposed to be like a plastic town created only for the visuals?
Yeah.
Or is this how the world looks in this movie?
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the
yeah.
latter.
We don't. I think so too. But it's all that we don't know anything about how this accident, this nuclear accident, did it just affect the surrounding area around a samurai town, or is the whole entire world destroyed, or? Like we have no that's what's missing, context. Yeah, world building, or at least context for what is actually happening. There's no context to anything.
Again, based on this Wikipedia article, who again could be just guesswork. I don't know. It says that it's a like quarantined area, ghost town, Ghostland,
yeah,
and within Ghostland, Samurai City lies.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this is like an isolated area, because I was.
It's sort of like
maybe.
What's it called? The Russian city, Pripyat, Stalker. What is it called?
Oh, no, it's called
Chernobyl.
Oh, Chernobyl. Oh, yeah.
So like that.
It maybe could be like that. The rest of the world thinks this is a dead zone where nothing grows and nobody lives, but actually people are living in here, and the governor has taken control because there are no other governments that know that this place is inhabited. Maybe, but that's just again me guessing based on a Wikipedia entry, so it could be not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we like try to explain the world, or like the plot?
Yeah, go for it.
If you can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, if you do your best.
I shall try. With my notes in my hand. Okay, so we start off in this Western/Japandia city land, and we get Mr. Nicolas Coppola Cage, which I wrote, in a song. This is very important because people in the film thinks this is very funny. and he's chained up because he's the prisoner. So who's the real prisoner of the Ghostland here? Maybe it's him. I don't know. And fuck. The film starts with a robbery. And we see Nick and his companion rob the bank slash gum store.
Candy store?
Yeah. And it goes wrong, and they kill a lot of people, and that's why he is chained up. They bring him out. This is like, I don't know, years later. Who knows? It's never explained. To the town square, where this cowboy in a white suit enters. He proclaims that he loves leather for some reason, and he hands Nick a nice leather suit. This is something I wrote down. It's very important. Someone screamed, "Let me see your balls," to Nick. I don't know.
That was a very, very important part of it.
Yeah, I would like to say that this film is very like ball centered.
Ball centric.
Yes,
very ball centric.
They're very fixated on his scrotum.
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of weird.
For some reason.
Yes. And the white suit cowboy gives some exposition, which I don't really remember what it was. Oh yeah, of course, my niece is missing, and you're a criminal, so why don't you go and track her down? He's not gonna like ask the police or anything to do it. No, just like pull a murderer out of jail, because that's how you do it, I guess. Yeah, and since he loves leather so much, Nick has had this black leather suit. I also wrote, everyone talks like an NPC, because they do.
Yeah.
And this leather suit can sense when Nick is about to strike a woman.
Oh no, a innocent woman.
An innocent woman. Yes, so
Very specific.
Not that ever comes up, that it has to be innocent.
No.
But
So to prevent this, of course, they set 2 explosives by his balls and 2 by his arms.
But the ones by his balls only react if he gets too excited.
Oh,
The ones on his arms,
is that so?
Yes,
Oh, I missed
the ones
that.
on his arms react if he's about to commit violence against an innocent woman. The ones on his balls is if he gets horny.
okay.
They're very specific. That's very specific.
But
And the ones on his neck are just timed. They're just timed.
oh yeah.
So in 3 days they explode.
Okay, so if he gets horny, he explodes. If he gets violent, he explodes. And if he fails to bring her home in like, I don't know, 2 days or something, he explodes. So,
But he can prolong the timer if Bernice says her name into the little control panel thing on his arm. Then it goes from 3 days to 5 days.
Ah. Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And the cowboy says, "Off you go." They get a car for Nick. Nick gets into the car. Then he gets out and jumps on a bike with a very cute basket. And then we have
for some
reason. And then we get this like epic Nick on a bike montage.
For like a couple of minutes
Yeah.
until the main bodyguard, Yasujiro, comes back with the car and says, "No, take the car." And Nick Cage just goes, "Okay," and then takes the car instead.
It's an unnecessary scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the fever dream really takes off.
Yeah.
He starts getting like visions of, I don't know, samurais just standing in a place. And
Yeah, samurais and a guy, a burn victim guy in a bus. I thought it was a truck first, but and then you see it's a bus. And he crashes his car off screen.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crash.
and then he just he's lying on the ground, and then someone carries him into the Ghostland.
Yeah.
Ratman.
Ratman, right?
Ratman.
I guess they're scavengers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. So this Ghostland is sort of like Mad Max on a budget
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say. Mad Max set in Japan on a budget. And then there's a lot of shots just with people dragging Nick on a carriage for some reason.
Yeah.
And this goes on forever. It never ends.
We get a lot of cool shots that is never used in any way.
People with masks. Oh, people
Yeah.
that are mannequins, sort of. Oh, people with masks again.
And a lot of mist.
Oh.
Don't forget the
No.
mist.
Yeah, lots of fog.
Yes, and Nick is on the carriage, and they are pulling him, and yeah, that goes on for a long time. And what happens next? La 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 la. He's dragged to Mad Max Land. He then, how do you explain this whole mannequin thing? Because I really can't.
I have no idea. The guy in the top hat says, "Oh, they have lost something and have to find it again. That way they can get out of these mannequins or something."
Yeah.
But he's keeping them there to protect them from something. Doesn't explain what.
Yeah.
And then there's a preacher who says, "Oh, you can't get out of here now." That whole part of the movie is a blur to me, and I watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there. They were stuck in mannequins to be protected from something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just pulls off parts of the masks, the mannequin masks, and in one of them is Sofia Boutella, Bernice.
Yes.
And again, here is one of the other of those things where there's definitely a story behind here that we are not a part
Yeah.
of. Because we have this guy in the top hat who is like, he's talking about, oh no, they're protected because they have mannequin things. But later on, we see in a small scene where he's like putting it on people. It's like, you're gonna be mine forever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Another fucking
So there's definitely
flashback.
something there, but that's all the clues we get. So we don't understand.
Yeah, and then there's the preacher who, I guess he's trying to like help people by giving them the faith, so to speak. You have the guy who's trying to stop the clock from going
Yeah.
because if the clock keeps on ticking, there'll be another explosion or something. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
And all this is going on. And so Nicolas Cage just grabs Sofia Boutella and they go back, sort of. They go back a little bit.
Yeah.
And she has to find. The guy with the mannequin says she's lost something that she needs to find in order to get out of here. And in her case, it was her voice. So then, it has been 3 days already. So I don't even remember when, but he passes out again. I don't know if they crash or what happens.
No, they go back to the car.
Yeah.
First they stop at Ratman's place, get some gas, and then they go back to the car.
Oh, right.
Because gas is definitely the biggest issue with that car. Not that it's fucking crashed.
Yeah.
And then he
Do the sunrise and the
he tries to get her to talk.
yeah.
And that makes his balls explode.
Oh, right, because he pours water on her to give her to
Yeah.
drink, and someone trickles on her shirt, and he's like, yeah, whoa, yeah. So he gets excited, and yeah, one of his balls explode. That's when he passes out, right?
Yeah, but then he has a dream sequence, and then he wakes up again,
Oh, yeah.
and then the ghost prisoners appear.
Yeah. You know, the ghost
And-
prisoners.
Yeah, and they attack, and for some reason his arm explodes, which I don't understand.
Because he's about to hit Bernice.
No. When all the prisoners come around him, the ghost prisoners,
Yeah.
they like swarm him, and he's like trying to fend himself off. Stop! Get out of me! And then his arm explodes.
Yeah. So, like, mind you, he's now both nutless and armless, and he still just keeps
Yes.
going like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then he passes out again, and we have another dream sequence, and then Bernice realizes that she needs to say her name.
Otherwise,
in
his head will
microphone.
explode. Yeah, okay.
And
And that's when
she
she
does.
finds her voice again.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be like
Yeah.
this big moment where she like finds her courage or something, but it has no emotional impact because just, why would she care? Like who, whatever. But she like says, "Oh, my name is Bernice." And yeah, and they get 2 more days.
yeah, exactly. And
And then, yeah, sorry. go
no,
on.
I was just gonna say like, there's a little twist there as well, cause before the nut thing happens, Nick is pointing
Yeah.
at Bernice's leg and he's like, "That's a huge scar," because she has a scar.
Oh,
right.
yeah, we see that in the flashback as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if we
she-
track
she-
back to the beginning of the film, where he did the robbery, and shot the place up, I guess one of the kids that were in the store was her, or outside, or whatever.
No, when
No,
they stepped out of the bank, they were running out after Psycho killed everyone, including the little kid with the gumballs. They shoot their way out, and when they get into the streets, he starts the cops show up, and he starts opening fire just on the crowd, and he shoots a young lady and her child. The lady dies, and the child gets shot in the leg.
Yeah.
That is Bernice. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And here we get one of the clues of the timeline of this movie.
Yeah, because it's been like, so it's like 10 years or something. 'Cause
Yeah,
she was like
so-
9 then, now she's 19, 20, whatever.
Yeah, and we also know later on when we meet Psycho, we get to know that the nuclear explosion happens after he's sent to jail.
Yeah, because his bus crashes with the
Yeah.
nuclear waste
So
truck.
So this nuclear area or the devastation has only been as long as Bernice has been
Right.
alive, sort of. So like around 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, and the prisoners, they're dressed as samurai except for Psycho. He's just himself still. I don't know why. They get like they're in the explosion, so they're like cursed now. They're all burning, and they patrol the stretch of land between Ghostland and Samurai Town and don't let people pass
yeah.
or something.
I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Nicolas Cage wakes up for the second time, and this time he has had some weird revelation that we don't really understand.
Yeah.
And he goes back to Ghostland, to the settlement,
Yeah.
with Bernice, and says like, "I am the hero now. I will save everyone."
Yeah, I will set you
For some-
free.
For some weird reason. And then we have this pretty bad, pretty drawn out montage of him putting iron on his arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the arm that he lost, but he still had. He just couldn't use it, I suppose. Yeah, and they get ready to, like, free everyone, I guess, and bring them into Samurai Town, just out of the Ghostland.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it feels like they're setting up to fight the prisoners, the cursed prisoners or something. And they get ready. Everyone prepares, and then they.
Oh, is that what they're getting ready
I think
for?
so, right?
Yeah, some kind
Oh.
of some kind of war.
But then they.
I thought they were getting ready to attack the governor.
But he doesn't control them.
No, but they say the time can't stop moving until the governor is dead.
All right. Why not?
I don't know, because they decided that. I don't know. It's never explained. I don't know how the governor is even involved in any of this.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's so confusing. Like, this is a super simple story, really. They've just decided to make it confusing.
But okay, but I think that sort of makes sense to stretch, but that they are getting ready to fight through the ghosts, so Hero Nicolas Cage can get to the governor and kill the governor.
Sure, yeah, sure.
That sort of makes more sense than what I thought.
Yeah, but then they
not making sense, it makes more sense.
Yeah, but they don't actually fight the ghost prisoners.
No, because then they go for the ghosts, and then we find out that the leader of the ghost is Nicolas Cage's old buddy who shot up the bank.
Yeah, Psycho.
And he's like, yeah, you can go through.
Yeah, it's like,
no worries.
Okay, you can go. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And everyone in Ghostland is like, all right, tell me when you're ready. And then they just go back to whatever they were doing. Because I thought they were getting ready to attack the governor, and in the next scene after the ghosts, the hero is alone with Bernice in Samurai Town. I was like, what?
Where did
you
everyone
had
else go?
Arby. Where did they go?
Yeah.
Hello, come on. But okay, so and then he goes there to confront the governor, sort of.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, release me from this cool leather suit I have." And the governor says, "No, I won't give you piss," or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He says something. With
Yeah.
piss.
I remember that very vividly. I wouldn't even piss on you or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I remember. And then the biggest fight scene in the movie starts
off. The fight scene, you mean?
No. We have one more with which has nothing to do with anything.
Oh,
with Yasujiro, where he fights some random guys,
some other samurai that are they're horny for the girls, and he's like no.
And again, I'm pointing back to the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Wait, where was it? Oh fuck! I don't find it. There is something here where they say that when he fights these guys, that's when he realizes the governor is bad and he should stop him.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't even remember what he does in the end of the movie.
Oh no, he I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, what happened to Nick? Did he die?
I don't. Oh yeah, that's true. I don't remember how this movie ends.
Holy shit!
To be honest,
me neither. That's so weird.
Oh no. Okay, no. It ends with this fight scene, and Yasujiro, he sort of just fights everyone for no reason. He fights both the governor's band, and he fights Hero Nicolas Cage. He fights both for some reason, and then Hero and Yasujiro have this standoff, and Nicolas Cage wins the standoff. He just like slices him with a sword instead.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when he like shoved the sword into his arm or something, so he looks extra cool for no reason. Yeah, and then everyone's free, right?
All right, here we go. This was the part I was looking for.
Okay.
So Stella, Stella. Everyone remembers Stella, right?
Is that Bernice's sister or cousin or whatever it is?
Yeah, Stella is one of the girls, because there's 3 girls who run away at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's Bernice, the blue-haired lady, or purple, and Stella. The purple-haired or blue-haired lady, she's still in Ghostland. Bernice is, Bernice. And Stella, for some reason, just appears back in Samurai Town. I thought the ghosts were guarding that part, but guess not. So, quoting the Wikipedia article, Stella returns from the Ghostland and is captured by Governor's men, who has Yasujiro execute her, which finally turns him against the Governor.
Right.
I guess.
I would need a PowerPoint presentation of all these relationships and
Yeah.
timelines, because much confusion. But that's right, someone got beheaded. I guess that was Stella. I didn't pay much attention.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Stella.
Rip to Stella. Or one out.
I'm looking at the ending now. This is when Hero fights Yasujiro. Yeah, they like just look at each other, and then it's the cool, it's like a standoff. And he pulls his sword. Nicolas Cage ducks, and then he just cuts him. And then there's super sad music because we lost Yasujiro, whoever that was. Yeah, that's what happens. And then Bernice confronts the governor. She has a gun from somewhere. There's a gun, and she shoots him.
Several times.
She shoots him 7 times with a revolver. Beat that.
Yeah. Oh, it is 7 times?
Yes, it's 7 times.
Oh, that has to be on
Damn.
purpose. Jesus.
I hope so. 7 bullets with a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Because she's extra
And
angry.
then after that, we have this weird, very drawn out sort of ending.
Yeah.
Where first of all, they're just walking around, and then they sit a while, and then they walk around, then they sit at a bus stop, and then they walk around, and the movie ends.
Yeah, I would say that this film is
Yeah.
like 90% just like transportation clips. It's like they're going on a bike. Now he's driving a car. Now he's getting dragged on a carriage. Now they are walking and sitting. It's like, okay, we can cut this.
The girl
out.
with the hair, the girl with the long bangs, so you can't see her eyes. She goes back to the ghost land and tells everyone the governor is dead. And they let go of the clock, so it explodes. The time moves on. The clock explodes, and that means they can all leave.
Yeah. Because
So everyone cheers. I'm looking at the end.
And apparently, based on this, the bangs, the lady with the bangs, the ghost land is just like 10 minutes away from.
Yeah.
We had this through the movie. It's like, you have to travel far. You have to have a car. You can't have a bike, and it's like all of these things. And then at the end, she just fucking books it, and it's there in like 2 minutes, and like, we're free, guys.
Yeah.
I thought it was further.
But what is the deal? So the unfinished building with the clock, they let go of the time Team Visa, whatever it's called, the hand of the clock, and it explodes, and everyone says, "Yay! Now we can leave." Like, what was? I get thematically that it's to show that they're now free. They're destroying the shackles of the governor. But what is physically stopping them from just leaving?
I think, first of all, the movie is more about being thematic.
Themes,
than
I
being,
guess.
Yeah, theme. First of all. Second of all, the way I interpret it is that these people out in the ghost land, the irradiated outcasts, they have just created this weird mythos of their own.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just for them to handle what's going on. This is a weird culture that has appeared. And it's like any religion. It doesn't. It's like
Yeah. So it's like, oh no, we can't leave because
they've created their own mythos around.
Yeah, and that's
the
why they
governor
can't
and the
leave.
clock
Yeah, exactly.
And the ghosts and
But
everything.
usually there's one despotic leader who has tricked them into believing this. But the governor hasn't really done this. It's just them themselves that have like, no, we're prisoners here. Like, but you're not.
I think it's the guy, the leader of Ghostland,
The preacher?
the guy in the box.
The guy in the
you mean the preacher guy?
the priest guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not like a bad guy. Why would he do that?
No, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's one of the he believes his own sermon sort of thing. That because he looks sad when the clock falls at the end. I think he is the one who sort of created this mythos and created all of this, and just sort of to have control of these people and say, oh, we can't leave because of the clock, And they're like, what? What do you mean? Government. And they're like, sure.
Okay, so here.
I mean, that's my very very practical interpretation, but obviously this movie is anything but practical or realistic.
Yeah.
This movie is all about themes and abstract and the meaning behind things. Artsy
and
in the worst kind of way.
Yeah, exactly, because they had, like I said, they have all the concepts, all the themes that you need for a classic, adventure hero's tale, redemption and all that. But they don't apply it to any sort of grounded narrative, which just, at least for me, and I guess for you too, as well, just makes it really hard to engage with.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Why not just why make it so convoluted? Just this is, like I said, it's super simple. It's Escape from New York. That's what it is. It's exactly Escape from New York, but without the concrete grounded stuff you need to understand what is going on.
Yeah.
It is just the weird ethereal thematic stuff. Why not just tell the story? Why make it so weird? What's the point?
Yeah.
It's just annoying. I said in the beginning I thought this was confusing. Now that we kind of talked through it, it makes more or less sense, like I said. Not practically, but it makes sense thematically. Now I just think it's just bad, because they're like they are on purpose making it just, it's weird because it's cool. No. Shut up.
My feeling, I've said this before off air, and sort of, that I think this movie needs a deeper knowledge of both the director's work and the movie itself, that this movie needs to be rewatched, and you need to see more movies of the director to get what he's going for. Still, I think he missed what he was going for, but at the moment I can see what it was. But I think there's definitely some meaning behind it. There's definitely some reason behind it, but because what I've read about the director, he is one of those directors who make a lot of abstract things that have meaning and pretentious stuff. And I just think that this one misses the mark so much that if you don't know his language, you won't get what he's going for. And again, even people who like the director says that this is not one of his good works.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
really? That's interesting.
Well, what I've read, a lot of people say, like, I like this director and he does a lot of abstract and weird stuff, but this one is just boring. It's not on top of those things. It's boring. What I've read, again, I haven't seen anything, I think, of this director, but what I've read is that usually it's this weird as this one, but it's also entertaining. But this one, he missed the entertaining part.
Yeah,
that's what I've read, at least.
Because that's usually what you get with movies you don't understand the first time. That something like I get it's a weird comparison, but I'm thinking of Ending Things. What's the guy's name? Kaufman?
No. Isn't that
No, not Kaufman.
Bambush? No, isn't that Noah?
No, it's shit. The guy who made adaptation. The Nicolas Cage movie.
That's Kaufman. That's
what is his name?
Charlie Kaufman.
Charlie Kaufman. Right. I was thinking Andy
yeah.
Kaufman.
No,
Charlie Kaufman. Yeah, like especially I'm thinking of Ending Things because it's. I don't know. Have you seen that one? Any of you?
I haven't.
No.
I know it's on Netflix.
Because that one is, it's a Netflix movie. It's really good, but it is all like themes and metaphor. The whole thing is just like a metaphor for another thing. Nothing makes sense in it. But when you sit down and discuss it, I watched it with my mom. We discussed it afterwards, and then I saw a video, yourmoviesucks.org. He explained what he thought it was about. Then it's like, okay, I get it now. Sort of like here, like, okay, I get it now. But but that movie was like, oh, that's cool. That makes sense. Oh, that's really interesting. I would like to go back with this knowledge now and watch it again.
Yeah.
With this one, it's just like, oh, I get it now. I hate it even more. It's a complete failure.
Yeah. Like, there's not anything to make sense of. And
It-
but
yeah.
I could see it looking pretty cool on paper. Like I said,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so Mad Max sort of set in
Yeah.
post-nuclear Japan with a sort of a bounty hunter story, and like, oh, evil governor, we had to take him down, and
Yeah.
yeah, like a Fallout situation.
That's another good example. It's
Uh,
it's Fury Road.
yeah, and like mixed with Fallout, and but
Yeah.
it's just like it's yeah, it's nothing really.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
What?
And
It's a mess.
Yes, it is.
It's just a big mess.
It is.
It's a hodgepodge of random ideas and themes about redemption and influences by Mad Max, Escape from New York, random post-apocalypse movies, and all these things put into one big pot, and then they stir it around, but they don't make anything of it.
No.
They don't turn up the heat and cook it into a nice stew. It's just a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, and I have to say, one of the most like awkward paced films I've seen in a while. Like the pacing is so
it
off.
never gets going.
No,
Yeah.
it's like it's like
I
awkward
feel
to
like
watch.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that is because of all of these dream and flashback sequences, because it stops the movie in tracks. Just stop it to tell us something that doesn't make sense and doesn't give us anything, and then try to keep the story as is.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I'm thinking the Watchmen
Yeah.
comic
Yeah.
with it. Have you read
Yeah,
the comics?
some of them.
The comic of Watchmen. Yeah, yeah. Because when they have the pirate story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine it's that thing, except it's not an allegory for the story. Because in Watchmen, the pirate story actually is an allegory for things, what's happening
Yeah,
in the
it's
story.
it's a
and it
mirror
makes
of
sense.
the actual story. Yeah.
Exactly. But imagine it wasn't a mirror. It was just a pirate
Yeah.
story.
Imagine you just read the pirate story. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sort of what's happening here. That we're gonna stop. We're gonna tell us something else. Oh, does it matter? No. Anyway, back to the movie.
Back to samurais are cool, and also cowboys are cool. So let's just
Yeah.
And also cowboy. What did you guys think of Nicolas Cage done in this movie?
He obviously had fun, I suppose.
yeah.
But
good
I
time.
think, I mean, yeah. So, but I mean, he doesn't do anything. What? It's like the rest of the movie. Like, yeah, he screams sometimes, and he's very rage cagey. But I couldn't enjoy it because it didn't make any sense. So he's fine. I didn't like it.
I think he was good when he was doing things.
Yeah.
But he was mostly not.
He was mostly
And he
just looking
spent
at
a
other
lot-
people doing things.
And he spent surprisingly a lot of the running time laying down doing nothing.
Yeah.
Being like dreaming or sleeping or being on a cart. There was a lot of time he was just laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he was up and running and doing things, I think he was pretty good. Nothing terrible. Pretty good. Again, it's hard to judge in this mess of a movie.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot of him reacting to other people doing things, but he's not really reacting.
Yeah.
He's just standing there.
Yeah. I was pretty disappointed in the cage rage factor, I have to say.
Yeah.
There were,
He screams, "My ball!"
yeah,
once.
that was
That's about
my
it.
favorite part. Because he has sort of a speech on the stairs of the giant clock tower thing. Where he says something about, "I'm radioactive," and then, like, if you were to tell me,
Oh, yeah.
I would stand here with one arm and only one testicle.
All right.
That was my favorite part, and also the bike riding. And then, yeah, like you said, he just
Sure.
like lays around, like passed out for the rest of the film. But I did enjoy that testicle scream. That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that was a pretty
Yeah,
good
it
speech.
was quite moving, I have to say.
One single tear.
Yeah. In my notes, like a summary of everything, I just wrote like, I don't know what's going on. People want to go to war or something.
Yeah.
Nuclear waste, something, radioactive, something. Cowboys are cool. And yeah, also samurai swords are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys have a favorite part? Or a favorite speech?
The speech was good. No, not really. Not really.
No, I gotta say, I fucking loved Ratman.
Sure.
Every time Ratman was on screen, I was on board.
I couldn't really hear what he was saying though, because he had some weird effect, and his English wasn't great.
I was watching the movie with subtitles.
Okay. I only had subtitles for the Japanese parts. It was just like
I felt at the beginning of the movie, it's like, nah, I'm gonna need subtitles.
Yeah,
for this one.
there's a lot of Japanese actors speaking bad English.
Yeah, and don't they just switch between Japanese and English sometimes too?
Yes, but then they always there's one the lady in white. She speaks Japanese without subtitles. I was like, hey, what's going on here? But then her dancers translated for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, Ratman, I think it was unironically a cool character design.
Sure.
Yes, I like his look and his character, even though he's not really explained. But it's a good, goofy side character, and that actor fucking went for it. He was all in on that character.
Yeah, he had fun. I'm really happy for that guy.
Yeah,
I hope he had a good time.
That guy. Yeah. So Ratman was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
He, I think, I hope he had a good time. I wish him the best.
Surprisingly, this movie has a decent Metascore, which I don't understand.
What is a decent
53. Like, that's pretty high, considering where we are in Nicolas Cage's career. And I mean, Polygon gave this, back in 2021, gave this an 88 out of 100.
But again, this is, as we talked about, this is, even though it doesn't really deserve it, based on the movies we've seen, this is when people are starting to love Nicolas Cage.
I guess.
This is like 2019 to 2021, that's when people are like fucking love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, is this like the start or the peak of the Renaissance for him, would you say?
The Renaissance started with Mandy, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that
and,
too.
you know,
so this is
Nicolas Cage.
So this is
connoisseurs would say it started a little bit before that, I think. But yeah, Mandy.
Yeah. And so we had that the Renaissance we've set up is that this is sort of the end of it.
Yeah.
That his Renaissance started with 2018 with Mandy and ended 2021 with Willy's Wonderland. But I guess that's because what movies came out when we started this podcast, like 2 years ago. I would say now that I would push the Renaissance, but both Pig and
Unbearable Weight of Massive
Talent should be in the Renaissance.
I think so too, yeah.
Maybe even all the way to Redfield, but I don't know.
Haven't seen that one.
No, I would say that the culmination of the Renaissance was Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, because it's such a meta movie.
Yeah. But that's in 3 movies. So this is really the end of it. So I think that's why he gets a lot of praise from the critics, because at this point it's pretty cool to like Nicolas Cage.
But the thing is, they don't explain it like, oh, this is this bonkers Nicolas Cage movie. They write, it's one of the director's more mainstream efforts. Jesus Christ. What could easily devolve into a crank-like exercise in hyperactivity is conducted with a steady hand and an appreciation for the details. What? What are you talking about?
I think he was paid off. That guy.
Yeah.
But again, as we also talked about, I think we talked about it. This director is sort of famous in critic circles.
Maybe
critics like this director too.
Yeah, it's like a cult director, maybe. So like, oh yes, the new Sion Sono movie. We have to praise it. Maybe.
Yeah, and that's what I've gathered, that he has like a following. Yeah. This director, maybe not that many in the western side, but definitely in eastern side.
Wow. Film Threat is comparing it to Jodorowsky. What's his name?
Oh, Alejandro.
The guy who made Alejandro, yes. Yeah, they write, I think that Prisoners of the Ghostland belongs in the category that was previously only really reserved for Jodorowsky's El Topo. Come on! This is not the same thing as El Topo. And that it's the acid western. It embodies and revives the category of movie. If you like westerns, martial arts, Japanese cinema, Nicolas Cage, or anything weird AF, then this is certainly for you.
Oh dear.
On paper, yeah, but not in practice. That's the
thing. Like on paper, I'm all in. Like, sign me up.
Yeah. A bunch of like 7 out of 10s. Like, Jesus.
Huh.
Here's one. Prisoners of the Ghostland isn't going to be for everyone. But if you're on board with one of the craziest movies you'll see this year, then strap in and prepare for Nicolas Cage at his most unhinged. Like, what?
Well, we've seen worse.
We've seen crazier, and I guess that's where the disappointment lies. Like, I wish it was crazier.
When you describe it as the craziest movie you'll see this year, and strap in, you're thinking of like this high energy, like super exciting action movie. Like, I would explain a Mad Max movie that way, especially if you're on the road. This is so slow and boring. Yeah. Like, what am I strapping in for here? Not falling over?
For dreams.
Yeah. Then there's some middling stuff, a lot of 6s and 5s, and then one really bad review from Slant Magazine. The film is a profound disappointment, in part because it feels so over-determined to live up to Sion Sono and Nicolas Cage's respective brands. That can make sense.
So on the
No. I was just gonna say the fans though, the people seem to have rated much lower, right?
Oh yeah, it seems like the people are not as forgiving, and probably because they don't know the director and have no skin in the game, as some critics do. So it has 4.2 on, which is, again, it's not super low, but it's low. And most feel like there are a lot of ones, which, like, this one here is tried very hard to be cool, bizarre, weird, crazy, surrealist, neo-western horror and action movie, but failed badly. Boring movie with one of the worst screenplays. There's a lot of people, which is, again, we see the shift through this podcast. Here people are, why Nicolas Cage, you're better than this. That's a kind of a new development.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people is like, Nicolas Cage, you deserve better than this.
We're like, no, not what he's done the last 10 years.
But again, we need to think that this movie came out the same year as Pig. So a lot of people is comparing this one with Pig.
That makes sense. Yes.
So there's one here, it's a 4 out of 10, which is pretty favorable. But if you want to spend some time with 2021 Nicolas Cage vehicle, please check out Pig, which is, despite the odd title, is actually one of the best films of the year and serves a reminder how great Cage can be with the right material. Despite the director's ambitious vision, there is simply so much that feels reminiscent of the Mad Max franchise. I really wanted to love this film, but I didn't. If you're a Cage fan, Prisoner of Ghostland is worth a look. I don't know about that, but So it's very middling, like 4 or 5s or 1s. There are a few like 10s and 9s, obviously, but there will always be. But that's mostly. I just want to read one part from one review here. It's 5 out of 10, which is this is Escape from New York and Judge Dredd and whatever craziness coming out of director Sion Sono's brain. Nick Cage is doing more of this weirdness, and I applaud him. I want him all the room he needs. In this case, it's too weird even for me. It gets unwieldy. There's one small example. In the first group TikTok moment, not everyone is moving their head in the same way. Sono needs to sell that by doing disturbing unison movements. I'm willing to go with the weirdness, but it has to be done better. This is style over control. This is walking on a knife's edge. In the end, I can't recommend this except for Cage completionists and Sono stars.
Yeah.
And that really feels like this movie is. I think that's a perfect description of this is style over control. This is trying to be weird for weird's sake without having a stable like foundation to build on. Even with such a so simple and straightforward story, it needs more story.
Like I said, he should have just done a music video. I feel like this would suit so good. For like a weird Japanese band. Like with all the sets and stuff, it would suit that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it looks good, just as a music video should. But it's just when they try to sort of tell a story in it.
They were like, "Oh fuck, we need a plot." Oh shit, forgot about that. Okay, so what about?
So based on that, Josephine, what would you give this movie
out of 10? Oh man, I just wish Nick had been given a bit more to work with to get, like have some more outbursts and have some more screaming. I only got one good scream, so I was pretty disappointed. I wouldn't rate this very high at all. Like a 2 for set design. And I'm being generous.
Just so you know, you gave Tokarev a 3.
Did I?
This is...
Wow, okay. Well, yeah.
Well, at least that one kind of makes sense. It has a lot of flashbacks, but you understand what's going on in it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Or, okay, 1.5 I would give this.
So you heard Tokarev's score, you're lowering this one. Alright.
Well, Tokarev has more of a coherent story. This was just like cool.
Whoa! I'm just looking. I'm looking at my Letterboxd rating. I gave it 2 out of 5 there, which would be a 4 out of 10 on this scale. Hell no! Yeah, this is more like a 2 at best. It gets some points for style, but that's it. This is awful.
I am a lot more forgiving with the scores than you are, usually. And I'm looking at the other scores here. And I'm going to give this a weak, but still a 4.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm going to give this a 4. Because I think, again, it looks good. It looks good. That's like 3 scores right there. And then 1 score for Ratman. But also, I'm looking at the other movies we watched, and I Between Worlds is a 2. I mean, this is doubly as good as Between Worlds.
It's different kinds of bad, I would say, for me at least.
To be fair, you gave 2. You gave 1 to Between Worlds, so it is double for you.
I guess, so. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So that's 2 for Toba, 4 for me, and 1.5. Not a great movie. No. Seen better.
Yeah.
And that was the first movie Nicolas Cage released in 2021. Next week is the second one, obviously. Willy's Wonderland, which I have heard a lot about, not seen, because I think I heard about it after we started this podcast. I think. Okay. And I have heard a lot of bad about it, but I personally gonna think it's very fun because I like those stupid kind of horror movies.
Yeah, and I've seen it back in the day. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I'll just say, I thought Willy's Wonderland was gonna be the rock bottom of this season, but having seen Prison of the Ghostland, that might be a contender now. I don't know. That's all I have to say.
Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see.
And Josephine, I'll just ask, will you be joining us for next week?
Oh, I'm not sure. I just looked at Willy's Wonderland and it looks sort of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking
very much Five Nights at Freddy's energy, I would say.
Very much. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe if I have the time, I would love to. Yeah. I'll get back.
You're always welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
But other than that, if you want to follow along for next week's episode, check out Willy's Wonderland. I'm sure it's available everywhere. And also, wherever you're listening to this, or listening to this on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. If you've seen Prison of the Ghostland, did we get it wrong? Is this actually a masterpiece? Tell us, please. If you like this, though, and you want to support us even more, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. We can get all these episodes in advance. There's also exclusive episodes to my other podcast, the Spoilercast. And that's it. We'll see you next week for Willy's Wonderland. Thanks so much for listening. And until then, have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Woo!
Madness in the Method is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias Vedén and Christopher Billén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. A huge shout out goes to all our patrons on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Laura Kinney, Danny Del Gaiso, Christopher Billén, Mac and Mom, and Zika85.